Hello everybody. Well, welcome back first of all. Thank you so much for all of my followers, my new subscribers, my old subscribers. Thank you so much. I know that thank you is a very small word, but it means so much and it is truly heartfelt. So thank you. Today, for the final journal cover in my little mini series of 5 journal covers in 5 days, I decided I want to make a mini tome. I have not made one for a long while, so I thought, you know what, I want to do that. So the only thing I've done, I had this long piece of, it came from a scrapbook cover, but it was extra long. In fact, this is what? This is 8.5. So the paper inside was like 17 inches long. And I'm down to my last piece. It's cardstock, actually. I had gotten it in a discount bin at Joann's a long time ago. And I have used many of the pages inside of it on softcover journals as my bases. So all I've done, without you, I've divided this, this was the back to that pack, and I put glue, and I've glued it together, basically. So I have double thickness, because I'm going to make my base for this journal out of this. I felt like cereal box wasn't quite thick enough, and I didn't really want to mess with chipboard, so I had this. And I measured it out, and I think I'm going to be able to get my covers and my spine out of it. So I'm letting this dry. So I'm going to set that aside. The first thing I'm going to do, a lot of times when I make journals, I always, 99% of the time I should say, not always, but 99% of the time I use muslin to connect my front and back and my spine. Normally I put that on and then I paint. Well, I decided while that's drying, I'm going to go ahead and paint the fabric that I'm going to use. It's going to be the base of it. I am going to do a little bit of decorating on the front of this, but I wanted to just bring you along. And I decided, you know what, I can go ahead and paint this, let this dry, and then we can assemble the journal. So for this particular journal, I want my cover to be in a burgundy shade, not dark, somewhere in the middle. And it's not going to end up that way, but I wanted to start out with it that way. I only have a little bit of this cranberry wine left, and I had this burgundy. So, whoops. I just threw it across the craft room. There we go. I'm just going to mix up, because I didn't think, yeah, in fact I know there's not enough of this paint here left. I should have probably just used that other one. I think that was the end of this one. I'm going to keep that bottle though, so I can purchase some more. Apparently I liked that color. So I hope everyone's doing well today. Yeah, those colors are pretty close. I'm just putting some of this in here. I don't know, I might... No, I'm going to add this full strength. I had some white paint next to me, thinking I might lighten it, but I think I'm going to save that. I will do that as my final step. Now for this, painting fabric, you're going to want a brush. I don't know if this is the right one. You're going to want a brush that's soft but stiff enough that you can really apply the paint. I'm just going to stir these two paints together in case there's any. I don't think there really is. But normally, I've always assembled my journal and then painted over it. So I thought, well, I can go ahead and paint my fabric ahead of time. And you just want to slather it on. This muslin happens to be tea stained. Does not have to be tea stained. It's just what I had. It might be coffee stained, in fact. It's what I had, so I thought I'm not going to fret about that. And you might have to normally go back over your fabric with the paint, because sometimes it just takes more, because it's fabric. But we'll change the appearance of this a little bit before it's all said and done. But I had found a, one of those 6x6 pads of scrapbook paper they sell. I was going through drawers here in the craft room looking for something different and ran across it, and I started looking at that paper and I was like, I bought that a long time ago and I've never used it. And so I thought, you know what? It inspired, the colors are inspiring me from that pad. And I thought, I'll make a little mini tome. Haven't done that in, it's been, I want to say a couple years, but I bet it has been a couple years. At least a year. Longer, I'm sure. Now that I actually think about it. Time goes by so fast. I just tore my muslin. I made sure I had enough. My tome is going to be 4.5 inches wide, and it's going to be 5.5 inches tall. And I think I am going to make it have a 1.5 inch spine. Maybe 2, but I want to see what that looks like before I commit to that. So I just made sure I had a piece of fabric that would accommodate whatever I decide to do. So my poor little doggy, for those of you that follow me, know that she had cervical spine surgery. It's either the last day of February or first day of March this year. And she's doing fine with that. But she started developing a bunch of lipomas. And she had one underneath one of her arms that was getting rather large, and it was causing her to walk with her paw was turning in. And then she had another one down low on her belly that, it might be just from the cervical spine surgery. She walks a little bit funky, but it would sway back by her hind legs, and it was really getting large. So we made a decision to go ahead and have those removed. She has some others on different parts of her body, but they're small at this point, and they're in places that they're not bothering her, and she is 10, but like our vet said, she probably has another 5 years, if not more. And for those two that seem to be causing her some discomfort, it was worth having done. So I got to pick her up this afternoon, and she's sleeping, so I'm sure tomorrow she's going to be a bit sore. But anyway, she's doing fine. And like I told him the other day, I had to take her Monday for blood work. And, over the weekend we started thinking about it, and my husband's like, are we doing the right thing, you know? Because we were concerned about her going under anesthesia again, especially after the spine surgery she had was, it was a major, major thing. Now I have made a mess, haven't I? I was going to try to clean my mat, but I'm not going to be able to. So I'm going to leave this like this for now. This can clean up. Once that dries, I think that's pretty good. But anyway, I said to, you know, we just wanted to make sure, are we doing the right thing or should we leave it alone? And the vet's like, you're doing the right thing. You know, she has at least 5 years left, and these are causing issues for her, and the risk outweighs, you know, or the benefit outweighs the risk. So everything went well. But I said the other day, I'm like, you know, for any of you that are pet owners and know what these little animals, the love they provide and the attachment you have to them. But I'm like, what makes us love our animals this much, you know? To go through all this and to worry so much about them. But she's our little girl. So I'm going to let this start to dry. It's going to have to dry all the way, but I'm going to keep an eye on it, and if any white shows up, then I'm just going to slather some more paint on it until I know it has a good base coat. And then hopefully by that time this will be dry enough that we can go ahead and get the journal made. So I will be back. Hello, I am back. Alright, so all this took was one painting. I didn't have to go back. I decided that you'll see as I go on a couple things I'm doing to this. So I thought, you know what, there's a couple spots that I might have been able to put some more paint on, but quite honestly, I think it's fine the way it is. And this really makes muslin much sturdier. Sort of, it's book cloth now, I guess. Alright, so the next thing I'm going to do to it is dry brush it. And I'm using vanilla. You can use white, or if you wanted a contrasting color, I guess you could do that too. But I'm just doing this just to age this a little bit. Whoop. So we're going to need very little paint, actually. These little crusty bits off of here. I have a brush that's soft but stiff, because you're going to want something that, and I'm hoping I picked out the right brush. The first couple strokes always freak me out. So I have some paper towel as well, and I'm just going to put the paint on, but I'm really drying it off as well. And I don't know if you can, well, that's a little bit too hard. There's a fine line. And you can rub this any way you want to. You can put as little or as much as you want on it. I'm just dipping it in and sort of wiping it off to try to avoid getting too much. The other thing I like to do is, and I don't know if I'll need to do that on this one, a lot of times I will paint one color, say just for example blue underneath, and then let that dry, and then I'll go back with a completely different color and put over it. And then I use sandpaper, and I just sand so that some of the color on the bottom comes through. I really like that. I like to do that a lot. I think it just adds a lot. So I'm just going to do this, and then once we assemble the book, if we feel there are spots that need more dry brushing, we can certainly add to it. I just think it makes it have a weathered, aged look. And it just tones that paint down a little bit so that paint doesn't look so flat. Sort of like making a painting. Don't want everything to look just flat and plastered on. Alright, so that's all I'm putting on there for now. If I decide I want more, I will use more. I had my sandpaper, but really, I'm not going to need it. I don't know what I was thinking. So I'm going to lay this piece of material over here. You're already able to work with it, because basically the paint was 99% dry when we added it to the material. Alright, okay, I'm back. So, all I've done is cut out my chipboard. I cut it to the size that I wanted my journal to be. I want it to be 5.5 tall by 4.5 wide, and I want a 1.5 inch spine. So we're gonna start with the spine. And it's because I want to make this curved, and I want to give it a little bit of dry time before we attach things together. So for the spine, I'm just taking my painted fabric, and I don't think it really doesn't matter. I'm just making sure I give myself plenty on both sides, because that's what I'm going to attach to the journal. Okay, we'll lay that aside for our front and back panel. And I think I'm just going to try to manipulate this with the glue. So I think what I'm going to do is bring my old trusty PVA glue out. I just cleaned all my brushes, so I'm going to dirty one up. Oh, I think this one's fine. And I'm going to hope that my glue plays with me, and I am going to slather it, and I do mean slather it. And the reason I'm doing that is because the wet glue is going to wet this chipboard and hopefully make it pliable in my hand. Enough that I can manipulate it. I'm going to stick this roughly in the center of this. And I do have glue everywhere. Wouldn't be a day in the craft room without glue everywhere, right? Let's clean that up a little bit. Get that out of my way. And I'm just going to take my brayer. I just like to make sure. And you can tell the glue is coming through. It has lots of glue on it. And that's okay, because this glue will dry clear and we may be adding. So I'm just going to start curving my chipboard. There's a couple different ways you can do this for a curved spine. And this is one of the ways. And I don't want this to be huge. I just want it so that you can tell the spine is curved. And a lot of times what I will do is I will grab, and maybe this would be the, I'll grab a, it's a little bit too small. I'll grab. Maybe this glue bottle will work better. It's too fat. I usually try to find something round that I can use to. You can see, just manipulate it. And you're going to have another opportunity to even manipulate it more once this is all attached. Because when we glue the inside, glue it together, the book, then there's going to be more glue on this spine. So it gives us the opportunity. Let me see. I don't know if you can tell. And I just want to make sure. There's a more foolproof way of doing this, but I think this is just as easy. And I think after you do it a few times, my spine's going to be there. Yeah, I think it's going to be fine. So I'm going to let this dry just for a couple minutes, just a little bit. I want to make sure my fabric's on there good and tight. And I will be back. Oh, I cannot believe what just happened to me. I totally just assembled this book and looked up, and I forgot to hit record. So let me take you through what I just did. You know that my spine was done. And that's just some glue that I'm picking up from what I've been doing. I then wrapped my front cover and my back cover individually. Oh, this is horrible. I can't believe that just happened. I looked up and I was like, why is this not recording? I wrapped my front and my back cover individually. I just, with my material, glued my material down. With the extra fabric that was attached to the spine, I just glued my front and back onto the spine. I can't believe that happened. I'm so disappointed right now. After I did that, I took a piece of cardstock and I just cut it to fit the spine and have a good inch on the front and back cover, and glued that in place. I used PVA glue to glue my cardstock to my spine, because while that glue is wet, if I want to manipulate my spine to make it more round, I can. I'm happy with the angle that I have, so I'm going to stay with that. Now, I am so very sorry that that happened. I certainly don't want to start this project over. But for anybody that may need to see that, let me know. And if you need me to do that again, I'll do it on, I'll make a special video of it. I'm just picking up, I got glue, I think, dried on here. So, now I feel like I'm repeating myself, but you guys never heard me. I always take my bone folder in between my spine and the front and back cover. Does it do anything? I don't know, but it just makes me feel better. I will finish the inside of the journal next week when we start adding signatures and the like, because I don't really know what I want to do on the inside of this one yet, how I'm going to attach my signature, which would affect what I'm able to do next. So we'll do that next week as we work journal by journal, filling these up. So on the front of my cover, I've already given thought to how I want to decorate it. And so I have these pieces here. This is a piece of Tim Holtz ephemera. And I tore a piece of scrapbook paper. I'm just sort of deciding, do I want it like that? I think I want this like this. Yeah, I do. I want this down first. So I will use, or try to use, the one good thing is, I guess, out of the camera being off, you didn't have to witness the great struggle of using this Fabrifix. And believe me, it was a struggle. So I am going to use Fabrifix on this. And then I just use my finger. I like to smooth it out and spread it around. And so once again, I'm going to sort of see where it was I wanted that. I think about there. Normally, I would let my book, after attaching it like that, dry, but for the sake of this video, I'm just going ahead with it. Then I want this piece of paper, scrapbook paper, that I've torn and I've inked it. I'm going to put that on there. This is the paper pack that inspired me for this journal. I'll have to, after we get this glued down, I'll grab it. Let you know it's Prima. I'm pretty sure it's a Prima paper pack. Might be easier if I, lay this flat for now. I want that, something like that. And then I decided that I want to use one of these little photo frames. It too is Tim Holtz. I was trying to decide when I realized I have glue all over my fingers, so excuse that. I was trying to decide, I'm going to use one of these. I think don't know where I got this. It says a dream is a wish your heart. Oh, I might have just stamped on the back of it. I don't know. But they might be, these might be from Artie Mays, from a kit of Artie Mays's. I was trying to decide which one I wanted on here. I don't know if I want him. This guy looks like he's from the 1800s. Yeah, I think I'm going to use this gentleman. Yeah, I'm going to glue that down first, but then, well, I'm getting ahead of myself here. Try to decide about where I want this. I'm going to add these flowers. So I think I do want it about there. I'm just gluing that picture down first. Okay. And then to glue my picture frame down, I'm going to grab yet a third glue, Glossy Accents. I always like to use it on the bigger elements, whether they're metal elements or just bulky like this. You know what I see? I see where I want to get the edge of this. I sort of thought usually, you know, it would be a pretty woman that I put on here, but I kept running across these two gentlemen. And I was like, you know what, I'm going to use these men this time. One of them. And I thought, you know, this could be, maybe this is a woman's journal that, you know, this is her true love or whatever. That glue's driving me nuts. That's on my fingers, but I'm not going to take time to clean it off. I just feel like Glossy Accents just, I don't know, I just feel like it secures items like this much better. I'm trying to be careful not to get that on the inside, otherwise it's going to end up on my photo. I don't think this has an up or a down. I'm going to add that. And then I want to add, these are some of the Tim Holtz little flowers. I don't know what they're called, but I don't know, sometime back I did a video on some dyeing and that type of thing, and I had done them then, and I haven't really used them. Okay, I was getting nervous when I'm adding this kind of stuff. So I almost feel like, oh, once you put it down, it's down. That's what I didn't want to happen. I didn't want that Glossy Accents to leak out there. Did a little. Not horrible though. That'll be fine. Like that. That's it. I'm just trying to flatten these out just a little bit because they're going to get flattened out as the book is used. Just make sure they're secure on there. I don't know why I feel rushed right now. I don't have a thing on my schedule. Anymore today. Thank goodness for that. It's been one heck of a day. Busy one. There. So let that dry. Excuse me. Okay. So that's on. The last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add, I've been saving these little corner protectors forever. Forever. Hey, I would bet I've probably had these 5 or 6 years, I bet. Maybe. Somewhere in that time frame. It's forever. But I'm going to add corner protectors on here. And I'm trying to decide, am I going to use that glossy accent? I might. I like to put glue in mine, just as an added something. Let me turn you off and I'll be right back. I just want to make a decision on that. Okay, I am back. So I think I'm just going to try to put a little bit of the glossy accents inside of these. Hopefully I don't make a mess out of things. And then my husband came home from work. He arrived at the same time. And now he's telling me, I guess we're supposed to get a hurricane this weekend. So he's in a mad dash. I guess I haven't listened to the news at all. So I'm not surprised that I know absolutely nothing about it. But I guess it's supposed to be pretty bad. So we're pretty close to the water. And so he's starting to put some other. I didn't put a whole lot of glue in there. Whoop. But anyway, he's starting to put some of the patio furniture and the like. I'm just going to let that set on there while I put all these on, and then I'm going to go back around with my little jewelry plier things to adjust them as needed. I don't think I'm getting much of this in there at all. Not coming out. Tomorrow we have a funeral actually to go to. My father-in-law's brother passed away, and his funeral is tomorrow morning. And I guess by tomorrow afternoon things are supposed to start rapidly deteriorating. And Sunday, I guess, is when it's going to be Sunday and Monday. So we'll have a little bit of time tomorrow to finish tidying up. I got hanging baskets and all kinds of stuff going on out there. Oh shoot. I put those on. Let me take these off. You know what? I hope I can get them off. Yep. Oh, thank goodness. I can't put these on yet. I just had a thought. not until I get the inside done. Then we'll put the corner covers on. I forgot about that because I would like them to be, you know, to show on the inside. So, for demonstration purposes, this is what the outside's going to look like. Haven't decided on my closure, and I think I definitely want to put one on here. So I might do, I know it seems like all I ever do, but I might put sari ribbon to tie it closed, but I'll run it in between here. So we'll make that determination next week, but this is how the cover is going to look. I think it's real cute, and I can't wait to see the pages in it because that is going to make a huge difference. So there you have it for what it's worth. I apologize about me forgetting to turn on the camera when I was making the journal. Essentially just gluing the journal together is all I did. But like I said, if anyone needs me to demonstrate that, I certainly will. And there's our cover. I'm real pleased with that. I really like that. I think that's going to be super cute. And you know, we might still do something around the edges here. We'll see as we start completing the journal, but I'm real happy with that. I think it's real pretty. Thank you all very much for visiting my channel. Your support is greatly appreciated. Please comment, like, subscribe if you haven't. And the next step on these is we will start filling the pages. So I will see you back very soon. You may not see me over the weekend just because of circumstances, but my intent is to start back on Monday as far as starting to fill each of the journals. But you might see me over the weekend, who knows. So, if not, I hope you all have a great weekend. Thank you once again. Happy crafting, and I'll see you real soon. Bye-bye.